Hope you're all still awake. Late Night Mega here. And this time we're going to go to the Pitch Black. That's a military facility. And we're going to be taking X and Axel. That's why I upgraded their life first instead of getting Zero's life up +2. We'll get his after this stage. Dark Mantis, really? Could we have a more generic name? Dark Mantis? That should have been more like Assassinator Mantis. That would have been cool. Anyways, so yeah, the theme of this stage is it's really dark. But there is a way you can change the stage and turn on the lights, as Palette mentioned there, and there's a generator somewhere in the stage. These guys act as kind of security. I'll demonstrate them. Here, come on. They'll summon others, and they'll continue to do so until you destroy the main one. And for these, just slide through. I probably should have not destroyed that block so I could use that as barrier against the lasers, but oh well. Come through here with Axel, and we get to this mini-boss room where I really shouldn't be using... The blast launcher is really good. It's just not that great here because it's kind of arcing and not hitting this upper one. I should have just been using X all along. I think in order to do really well on this, you want to kill these guys. Well, of course you want to kill them quickly, but before they light up. That was terrible. Yeah, very few medals from that. Oh well.
X, can you hear me?
Alright, old out of you. Yeah, so we have to get to the generator, but it's a little bit tricky to get to. Honestly, Lair's guidance will probably help you because we need to use Axel's copy ability to get to the generator. In the meantime, you have these spotlight things here. We're going to copy one of these guards. And then as soon as you destroy the shielded one, that's kind of like the leader, and then the others just kind of run away scared. It's kind of silly. So you want to jump over it while the light is on the ground, and dash under it while it's on the wall. It's a little bit weird because that's not really how the lighting would actually work. Like if you jump in, like that in real spotlight terminologies, we would have been caught there. But for the game, it doesn't quite work how it would logically work. So just accept the way that it is. Now be careful not to fall down here because you will not be able to get back up. And you need to climb this wall to the left to get to where the generator is. And we need to turn into the guard, press the triangle button to do the special thing, aka salute the guard, and pressing square, that's what normal attack with that looks like. And then that guard will just go to sleep. And she kind of gives you a hint there that you need to use electricity. Oh, I gotta get off the guard here. It takes a few shots of electricity. You don't have to spam it like this, but what else am I gonna do? Alright, now the generator's running, lights are back on, and that is going to completely change the stage. Another thing, you might notice the floor looks a little special here. Do a charged crystal wall. And ta-da! Yeah, we know. And now that we have, actually, yeah, we're gonna show off the blast launcher. It's a really good weapon for Axel. But we're actually gonna go back the way we came. You're gonna see how this changed the stage. That was not actually there before. So yeah, you need to have the generator active in order to get most of the rare medals. I think the only thing you could get without the generator or getting to the generator room is the X capsule. So yeah, you definitely want to have Gigabolt Man of War's ability before coming here. And all the spotlights and security stuff, all that goes away now once you have the generator active. Otherwise, this would be another section with that theme. And these platforms also appear when you have the generator on. And there's a rare metal that you can't see on screen. I do take an issue with that. And then we have the other mini-boss room. Just shoot these guys. We're going to use the blast launcher just to show how really good this thing is. Now look at this. So as far as Mega Man X8, the shop system and the medals, I'm okay with the shop system. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of it, but I can see the reasoning behind having it, especially when it comes to our characters' life totals. Because if you remember well, it's kind of a problem that's been happening since Mega Man X5, but it became even more apparent in X7. When you have a limited number of heart tanks, and they end up going to characters that you might not want them to go to, you can only... Like, say we're playing as Zero a lot in Mega Man X5, and we get a lot of heart tanks as Zero. Well, then we switch to X, and his health is low because he hasn't been collecting as many heart tanks. And there's nothing you can really do about that. You have to decide how you're going to split the heart tanks and how many each character is going to get, and it's kind of tricky to manage some of that because some of the heart tanks are tricky. Foot Parts Eye, amazing at getting that purple medal. Otherwise, I recommend not going for it. Well, Zero's double jump should be able to get it safely, but do be mindful of those spikes on the wall. And up here is where we find our capsule. One of the navigators will tell you that something about going up high, up to higher areas, and that's where you'll find the capsule. It blocks weak enemy attacks. I don't fully know what that means. I prefer the body parts I rather than H. I'll do more of an analysis on the armor later in the game when we get more of it. But yeah, until we get body I, we're going to stick with body H. You can mix and match the two armors. I do like that about this game. They really did the armor parts right for having two separate armors and that. And of course, you'll get a bonus for getting both armors. I should do this properly and wait for a container. There we go. Go down this side. Yeah, this is what you're intended to do here. Just kind of slide down safely. Do not fall down any further because you will die. Okay, Blast Launcher not so good at those guys, but great at dealing with basically any other enemy. And we're at our boss already. Yeah, we'll go in with X, and the conversations don't really matter much. They don't give you much insight as to overall plot or anything like that, so it is whatever.
Hey, what's a maverick hunter doing here?
Gee, I don't know, hunting mavericks.
You've gone maverick. I'm putting an end to your weapons production.
You've got to be kidding me. We new generation Reploids can't go maverick.
Then why are you making weapons?
Actually, you can. Going maverick doesn't require a virus. That's one issue I have with the plot. Let's talk about Dark Mantis. Stay away from him and shoot him. Okay, now that we've covered that. Yeah, so new generation Mavericks, or new generation Reploids can't go Maverick because they're immune to the virus and whatnot. And while it's true that we have seen since Mega Man X5 the Sigma virus making Reploids go Maverick, that virus did not always exist, and there were Mavericks long before the Sigma virus. Because if it required the Sigma virus to go Maverick, well, what about all the Mavericks that existed while Sigma wasn't a Maverick? Because remember, Sigma was not always a Maverick. He was not always evil. He was a good guy for a while. There was no Sigma virus then infecting things. Mavericks are just Reploids that chose to basically do bad things and fight against humans and do evil. That's all a Maverick is. It does not require a virus. Super move. I protest that hit. I should have been safe there. That Super Slice can do a ton of damage, but it's not super difficult to dodge if you know how to dodge it and know that it's coming. Otherwise, it doesn't give you much time. Yeah, overall, Dark Mantis, not super difficult. And we don't have his weakness weapon anyways. We haven't had, like, any of the weakness weapons so far. And so we get... The reason I wanted to come to Dark Mantis sooner, yeah, both Zero's ability and Axel's weapon you get. Axel's weapon is a homing weapon, well, so is X's weapon, which is really cool and useful. And you can see we got the that little symbol on the left there. That's going to be the D-Glaive. You remember that from Mega Man X7. So, like X7, Zero actually has alternative weapons. And the D-Glaive... Oh, we also got a life tank as one of the rare medals. Awesome. Go ahead and pick that up. And the D-Glaive has, like, a really long range. And it's really absurd with the ability we get for Zero for beating Dark Mantis, that little swirly thing. Doing that with the D-Glaive is kind of silly, and once I realized that, I kind of redid my order of how I did things, because when I first figured out a order to take the stages in, I had Dark Mantis as last, and then once I found out what I got from Dark Mantis, I'm like, I want to get this sooner. Because Axel's weapon's really good from it, Zero's stuff, yeah, and the life tank, yeah. So I want to go here sooner. So that is that. Yeah, we'll go ahead and show off the next scene. So, yeah.
The Maverick data accumulated so far. What makes new generation Reploids resistant to viruses is their copy chip. The copy chip can actually change a Reploid's DNA.
Okay.
Did you examine my data?
Yes, I compared your data to the copy chips in new generation Reploids. I found something very interesting.
Sigma.
The data embedded in the copy chips closely resembles that of Sigma.
Interesting.
I'm not exactly sure what this means, but I'd be lying if I said it didn't worry me.
Yeah, it is kind of worrying, but it's also worrying that the plot is never going to fully explain that either. I still have to talk about my plot issues, but maybe we'll do that more next time. Oh, what stage am I going to next time? This one? Unfortunately, yes.